Hi there, it's Mare. I have a journal flip through of my Grungy Christmas journal. Before I forget, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and the like button and comment if you will. I really appreciate your feedback. Also, I just want to give a quick thank you to all my subscribers and all my new subscribers, and you inspire me and encourage me every day. So thank you. Okay, this journal here is the only Christmas journal that I've done this year because of family obligations and such, but it is 9x6 and it has roughly 73, 74 pages front to back. Like all my journals, I have spots to tuck a little note or a memo or a little quote or something like that. There are spaces for writing in it. It was going to be a totally different journal. This is a very vintage cover. It's from, I believe, the late 1800s or possibly the early 1900s. That could be it. Of course, I forget after I, take it apart, but it was extremely falling apart. And I showed the cover in my last video at the very end, but I'll show you what I've done with it. It started out being one certain kind of journal, and then I completely tore it apart and started over because it just wasn't flowing the way I wanted it to. But I'm very happy with the outcome. I've redone everything. Like all my journals, the spine is reinforced with Tyvek, and it is super, super chunky. Most of you that know my work know that that's what I do. Okay, it is soft-ish with a little bit of hard front. I've got lots of dangles. I really went with the vintage grungy theme. I used these Christmas, you can get it, little Christmas charms. I first rusted them, and then I added just bits of gilding polish and glaze and scuffed them up and took half of it off just to make them look like they were old charms originally found on this Christmas journal many years ago. I used some alcohol inks on the beads as well, and that's it. So here on the spine, it's removable. You can take off this rusty clip. Oh, I kept so many strings. You can put it anywhere in the journal, but this has a little mini book with all the same color tones. I really like the retro aqua with red. That combo just always gets me. I put some same kind of grungy little charms and a bell there, and just it's empty. Just a little piece of washi there, and a piece of dictionary page, little bits, but it's very grungy. Used some of my grunged up muslin there, and that's the clip. So we're just going to keep that off for now, but that does come with the journal. I just tied it, double tied with some tea-dye muslin as the closure. I did not want to put a clip on this very fragile vintage book, but this has some new and vintage laces, doilies, applique, a little rusted safety pin. Same thing with just some grunged up beads and charm there on it. And let's see if I can get this. This first section here, this is the inside of that book. The part that I kept, the book goes up to like right here, and then the applique and some coffee dyed paper backed here. I used one of those, I think it's a reproduction of the German like sticker type things. Anyway, this is an actual image from the book. And it was so fragile and just chipping away and falling apart, but I got it all nicely glued down. I did lots of sewing in this book, crazy stitching. You're gonna find inks at places and gesso and totally grunge. You're gonna find bits of glue, all of that, signs of a handmade item. And I've made this pocket. I put a gusset in there, and I did some collaging back here. I just put some paper here, paper right here with a vintage stamp and a This was part of I believe, an envelope from 1937. So that's just some extra paper. I am going to include a couple of vintage receipts with this. I have a little package starting that's going to come with the journal, which is this little bag here with a piece of tissue in it, little extras in this grunged up envelope, and I'm going to put a couple of copies of some vintage receipts. I didn't get a chance to put some in there, but I will actually just include it, and you can put it wherever, or whoever buys the journal can do that. Okay, so this has handmade Christmas stocking, Grandma's handmade Christmas stocking. So I made these little grunged up little stockings and hand stitched little bits of red in there. I hope you can see that. Put some bells on there. This is actually comes up just to be able to fit these stockings. You could put something up there if you wanted to. Here's a long tag, grunged up little pocket with a metal snowflake, grungy rusted pin there. And this is a journaling card that I've made into a pocket. And here's just some piece of a doily here, tag here. I have to get going, get fast here. Piece of ephemera here, and lots of inking everywhere. Ripped up pages. This little side pocket here. Oh, and I will put any credits for anybody that I've used a digital for that I can remember. I try to be good with that and stick all the credits in the description box. And here's just some paper bag, little extra paper for journaling, a little piece of ephemera here, grungy up to little page here with some stamping and gesso, and another little piece of ephemera, grunged up piece of paper here with a ruffle, nice vintage coffee dyed bag here. And I put a journaling card and this vintage flash card. The little bits here are cinnamon, because I do cinnamon vanilla in my coffee dyeing. And I just think it smells lovely. Little tab there. I put a little angel here, a little angel charm. It says, tender memories on this heart. Tender memories, wake and say, forget me not on Christmas Day. And this is a part of a trifold, and I just made each into a separate journaling card of this little cutie pie here. So that's vintage, and that comes in it. Glassine envelope that has been coffee dyed. Some vintage piece of, I believe, a tablecloth. Little believe thing there. And this is a vintage postcard, Christmas postcard. And it looks like it's not yet 1909. So I'll let whoever gets this read that. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. Okay. I reinforced here and, in the spine, like all my journals, or if you're new to watching my channel, my journals have little bits of muslin or washi tape or whatever to reinforce some of my journals are very heavily decorated. And here's an area for journaling here, an old book page, copy of one, I should say. Some gesso here. It'd be great for a little picture or a few words or a quote to be pasted on that. I've added this grunged up key here and rusted clip. And I just decoupaged this, this envelope, a couple of journaling cards in there. Oh, no, it's gonna bug me, so let's do that. Clip that back on. This is just a belly band here that I've made, and little Joy to the World index card, room for writing, and here's just a red tag that I've collaged, and room for writing there. And here's just a piece of snippet, I guess you could call it, that I've collaged up here. In the air, there's a feeling of Christmas. Made a pocket out of this junk mail envelope and did some collaging. I also backed on the inside, so when you take it out, you can leave it like that or put another picture in if you're choosing. Copy of a vintage photo of these boys playing in the snow. I just absolutely love it. Grunged it up. Some snowflakes down here and here. This is a digital that I put some acetate in, and I had some acetate that had little snowflakes on there. Made this little pull out of another copy of a vintage photo of more playing in the snow, and there's just a little rusted up little bell charm, and that fits right in there. You can open it up this way, and it opens this way. Just put a little piece down here with another rusted charm. This is a snowman, and that goes that way. Here's a big pocket, left room here for journaling, and here, this is an original photo, a vintage photo. Look at that dog in the snow. That is so cute. A little postcard. And this is a pretty nice size pocket. It could actually fit quite a bit in here if you wanted to. This flips open like this, a little tuck here with some ephemera pieces. Here I made a little pocket, stamped vintage on it with a red burlap bow. Just some little tickets. This had little bunnies on it, this little Christmas one, which I thought was a tag, a little handmade tag. Those just all sitting there. There's a bunny I've stamped here, but it's in the background too, a little Christmas bunny. So this flips up, and I just put a bunch of coffee dyed paper in here, and some of it's pretty crinkled, and I just love the look. You flip it up here, so you have area here as well. I just didn't want to lose any areas for journaling. Here and here, just curled up a rusted paper clip. Vintage envelope, 1930, and in it, I think I'll put the copy of the vintage receipts. Maybe I'll find one or two of them, stick it in there. This is a little vintage, receipt, little snippet here, little one of those German cutout things here, tag here, and piece of ephemera. It says Santa's List. A copy of a book page here. This, I believe, is a digital. So again, I'll be sure to credit whoever I can find on there. I made just these little ornaments here, these little bulbs. Put it on some string and put this tag on with it just for a little tuck. Made this window here. This is actually one of the new Tim Holtz windows. It's already distressed looking, and I just fell in love with it. I like this paper because it reminds me of it looking from inside out, maybe a room. And here I put some acetate in the window and added a piece from a postcard that just, I don't know if you can see that because of the glare, but it's so pretty. Outside scene. Little Tim Holtz paper doll. Tag right here, this little, what do they call them? Salt box houses. I believe that's it. Made this out of a clip here and just made a long strip, did some sewing, a vintage button. I put some loose things in here. This happens to be just a English carol book. It's called A Babe is Born. It's really pretty. And there's some more sewing. Let's clip that in. You could move that anywhere. Here's a piece of the actual book that I used. Anything that I could salvage, I did. It was really falling apart. Here is just a vintage bingo card that I've done some decoupage and some sewing, and the back is empty for journal space. Another piece of the actual book here that I've put with some pattern paper, and here's an envelope, strings, and you open it up here, and do I have anything in there? No, but I'll put something in there. Anyway, this is an order blank from a Christmas book, some old paper that I had here, and I just made a little snippet with a vintage Christmas napkin. Here's one of those little Tim Holtz snippets here. Some vintage doily and pieces that I had. This is for the candle wicking piece that I have. It's a big piece. I just shaped it in the form of some ornaments here and hung the string up here. Tickets here. There's a little candy cane stamped one. The candy cane ticket here. And there's little Santa here. And a little Christmas one that I just tuck in there. Here's a little tuck spot, another piece of that book, copy of the vintage book. Little paper here, that's Christmas tree. And have yourself a merry little Christmas. And I did a lot of stamping. There's that Tim Holtz stamps of the Christmas trees that are just have little subtle differences in it, and I just really liked them. Stitched up here, added some pages here. This is a flip up. This has 2 Christmas trees, and I used the Christmas tree farm, sewed and made a little side tuck with this tag here. It has a little bit of bling to it. Most things are grungy in here, but of course, well, I have to add that little touch of bling. Here's a page here and here for journaling. Little extra page here. In here, I just made it icy. Just used some different distress oxides. I also used this faux fur. That's pretty, it's a little bit cut up and grunged up a little bit. Like they were just some old pair of earmuffs. Put a string on that. These are original little ice tickets. And it's from some books that I have. And that's a copy of one of the book little snippets from Tim Holtz. But these are actual, these tags, these tickets here. And this is actually from the book, this ice company that I have. And I just made did some work on some Tyvek. You know, it does bubble well. I'm going to make some Tyvek beads too when I get a chance. Oh, this has a little skate thing in it. I just thought it was a nice snowy scene. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. This Tyvek's pretty interesting. So if you get a chance, check out some videos on YouTube for that. Christmas sleigh rides tag. This is a grunged up piece of metal and little rusted there. So please be aware of that when handling. Little page here, just some decoupage, journal work here. This flips up here like that. So 2 sides if you just put something behind it and you can write a little more easily. And it's a stamp here and one of my favorite Tim Holtz paper dolls there. This was a toy shop. It mentioned toys and dolls here. So I added this little tag here for the toy shop and made a little, I have these little tea bags that have coffee dyed, add a little bit of deli paper in the bottom to lift her up, and I made this little doll. You know, I'm not a professional doll maker or anything, but I think she's cute. She's a little adorable with her little Christmas colors on, her little Christmas dress, made her a little hat, and stick her in there. Okay, and this has an envelope here, a piece of ephemera in it, clip here, distressed and rusted, as well as that Santa charm up there. This just untucks. This just black and white. I just love that image of those 2 girls. That flips down. Here's another sheet of the Christmas music, Silent Night. The Christmas tree. Some more paper with some muslin. These, I use some vintage buttons up at the top. Hopefully, and I'm moving that around everywhere. Some vintage buttons up at the top here, and I just put some different rusted bells and distressed rusted charms on there. Did some sewing here. Oh, another one of those Christmas trees there. Another envelope here. Put stuff in. Area for journaling here. I made a pocket back here, and this paper is just a Hopeful Bird, I believe it is her paper, and I just loved it. I just think it's adorable. Some more of vintage doily here, or tablecloth here. Made this little tile, and this opens up. Made a pocket that's gusseted here, and another vintage postcard. Oh, let me turn it around. Isn't that cute? This is in my heart, I wish you the goodest. Yeah, I'm not going to try that. Anyway, it looks like it's German. And let's see, 1914. It's a handwritten postcard. Isn't that cool? Okay. So anyway, that completes it, and that's the back. I used some vintage lace here, vintage tablecloth here, lace here and here. And again, it'll be available in my Etsy shop, which is Lilac Pages. To check for availability, go ahead, I'll put the link in the description box. I don't know how long it will be up there, but just know if I'm gonna put this up today, which is Tuesday, if it's still there even on Wednesday or so, if I do sell it, it's not going to go out till next Tuesday, just so you know. Okay, and that'll complete it. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.